Greetings, my friend and earthly neighbor, and welcome to another week in what I'm calling Fantastic February. And this week is the week we get the term fantastic. It's not because of Valentine's Day, it's because of a super stellium solar eclipse that happens on Thursday that's going to propel your consciousness into the stratosphere. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, an awesome way to kickstart the day. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Sensei Christopher Witecki. So glad to have you back, my friend. Namaste. Well, this week, things pick up pace. Last week, we had an ascension of our consciousness, kind of moving to the master level. And this week, a super stellium solar eclipse is going to knock our consciousness to the highest vibration, probably in this lifetime. So this week, I'm going to talk to you about the lead up to the solar eclipse, how you'll feel on Valentine's Day and after. And then in our tea time, I'm going to break down the solar eclipse for all 12 signs. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, February 12th to Friday, February 16th, 2018. Looking at your 5-day moodcast. Looking at the week at a glance, it is ready, get set, launch. On Monday, it's cloudy and super pensive. Step 23 rules the day, and the moon in Capricorn has you scrambling for control. On Tuesday, it's sunny and peaceful as the moon moves into Aquarius to prepare for the light cast day, and Saturn moves to step 6, commanding peace. On Wednesday, it's cloudy and healing, the most spiritual day of the week. Step 25 rules the day and your intuition guides the way. And then on Thursday, it's sunny and super certain. A stellium solar eclipse happens later that afternoon with the moon crossing the sun in Aquarius. And then on Friday, it's sunny and super loving. It's Love Fest Day and step 27 rules the day. Well, looking at the upcoming week, it's not just about raising your vibration, it's about launching your personal synergy. I'm going to walk you through the week and all the planets involved. Taking a sneak peek at the upcoming week, I coined this week, Launching New Synergy. Now, we are in the consciousness of Aquarius. I coined that as I belong consciousness. It is this meta-consciousness that rules over reality, and it is the creator of the law of attraction. Aquarius is the law of attraction in action. And the law of attraction states, what you be, as far as vibration on the inside, is what will come when it comes to the outside awareness. So Aquarius is the time of year where we are adjusting our frequency, what we be frequently, so that we can attract what it is we seek in our life. Now, there are 3 stages to Aquarius. The first stage is our belonging consciousness. Belonging is what our heart belongs with or doesn't belong with. It's very, very personal. And in the beginning of this, we had, remember, a lunar eclipse in Leo, which basically tore away our heart's attachment to the old, outdated belonging. Then we moved into the second decan, which has to do with our attraction energy. Once your heart is clear on where it belongs, you then begin to attract in the outer world what it is your heart seeks. And sometimes you find that you have to adjust your frequency because what you draw in is the same old, which means your heart hasn't let go of the old thing. Or perhaps you draw in exactly what you want, but then you have issues with yourself and resisting and not accepting and receiving. Then in the third decan of Aquarius, we work on our synergy energy. And synergy is really where we go out and dance with what we have attracted, and we try to reach a kind of symbiotic relationship with the issue. In fact, this little thing I'm doing right here is the waves of Aquarius. That's the symbol of Aquarius. And I believe that's what the synergy energy is, where you and whatever you have attracted gets along so well that you are stronger together than you are apart. A good way to think of synergy is kind of how our muscles work. Like for instance, in our arm, we have all sorts of muscles. They're all working together as a team. If it was just one muscle by itself, it'd be difficult for us to move our arm. But when we have the synergy of all of our muscle groups, we can move our arm. So this week, we are seeking to step into synergy with whatever it is we have attracted. We are attempting to get to this great congruency with our life, our relationships, and with ourself. And once we find this synergy, the universe is going to grand slam this with a solar eclipse in Aquarius. Now, I'll talk about a solar eclipse more in our tea time, but in essence, this is kind of like giving whatever synergy you find a huge booster shot. So you're going to have this tremendous amount of extra conscious energy, and you could say good luck and good fortune that kind of makes this synergy a permanent facet of your life. It'll be very difficult to slow down this consciousness. Now, if you remember, or if you watched my show 6 months ago, we had a great American solar eclipse in Leo that happened in August. And that was a huge punch of love energy. And you might recall in your life how things changed from August to September and to October. That was all the aftermath of the solar eclipse. And that solar eclipse at the time was saying, you must invest in your heart. You must go for what your heart desires. And then the universe sent a tremendous amount of energy behind that cause. This time, on Thursday, the solar eclipse is saying, now that you're clear on your heart, and now that you have detached from what your heart doesn't belong with, it's now time to be focused on where you belong in the world. That means relationships, that means society, that means your place in the world, and it's time to find your synergistic relationship with the world. And once you do, boom, the universe is going to grand slam that consciousness to a new height. So let's take a look at the week and how the week builds up to this grand slam. Couple of things I want to point out. For one, it's a very spiritual week. The moon starts off in Capricorn on Monday, which is kind of a business day, but then the moon moves into Aquarius and Pisces for the rest of the week. So I want to stress that although we are focusing on our synergy outside ourselves and our synergy in our relationships, the work is all inside ourselves. That's where our emotions will be focused on. Our emotions will be focused on Aquarius, which is whether or not we're in alignment with our attraction, whether or not we're in alignment with our synergy potential. And then it moves into Pisces, which will be about switching channels from an old spiritual story to a new spiritual story. Interestingly enough, Venus, our receptive energy, is already in Pisces. So as we're kind of grand slamming where we belong in the world, we're already opening up to spiritual change. Spiritual change meaning our spirit is saying one karmic story is officially over and a new karmic story is birthing. Now technically what we're doing is we're holding space for the new story that's birthing. It won't be until next week that the sun moves in Pisces where we see our whole life spiritual story changing. Right now in Aquarius, we're really just kind of figuring out on the spiritual map where we want things to go, and we're holding space for the new spiritual story. One other interesting thing about this week is Jupiter. Jupiter's been in Scorpio since late October, since October of 2017. And probably the biggest influence that I've noticed with Jupiter in Scorpio has been, of course, all the Me Too movement, where women are speaking up about particular abuses that they have had, beginning with Harvey Weinstein and going all the way through President Trump, basically. And this is basically a conscious push for us to reinvent our boundaries. And up until this week, all that reinventing of boundaries has been kind of our more personal boundaries, such as the Me Too movement, where our lines are with certain people and whatnot. But this week, Jupiter's at step 22 Scorpio. It's also at step 22 Scorpio during the actual solar eclipse. And that means that now that you have your fundamental emotional boundaries in order, it's now time to re-architect your boundaries for the future, not necessarily fixing the past. So this means that this week may be a bit uncomfortable. In fact, Jupiter will stay at step 22 until February 25th. Uncomfortable meaning that you're going to have to get used to some things, some certain space issues, some boundary issues. And even though you are moving to something that's probably better for you and higher in the light, you may have these issues where you are craving the old just because they were comfortable. So I predict this week to be a somewhat uncomfortable week, even though it's very positive and beneficial for your soul. And then lastly, I want to talk quickly about Saturn. Saturn and Pluto are both in Capricorn, and these have been forces about how to make new decisions, how to be in control of our life. So not only are we moving on to a new spiritual karmic story, but we are also moving on to a new methodology to controlling our life. So if, for instance, you used to be a person that controlled your life through emotional manipulation, or controlled your life by overcompensating, or controlled your life by not compensating whatsoever and people coming in and doing it for you, okay, like whatever your old method was of controlling, that is going to officially expire this week. It technically expired almost 2 weeks ago, but you could have been cheating this whole time. I think the universe is going to present you an option. If you want to be in the new stratosphere of consciousness, you're going to have to let go of the old ways of driving the car. All right, and that's probably part of the comfort zone issues as well this week. So I think this week is going to be super positive, but I think it's going to feel super weird. Then lastly, Mars. Mars is actually in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the story we were born to live. Mars will be at step 12 during the solar eclipse, and that means that as of the solar eclipse, our story will take a new turn. And for some people, this may be a surprise turn as well, because not everyone is a futurist. Not everyone is thinking about tomorrow. Some people are just living life day by day. In fact, most spiritual authorities say that's the way life is to be lived. But you may find that your story makes a surprising turn 2 days prior to the eclipse to 2 days after the eclipse. And surprising turns are also often due to other people. So for instance, if you were building a company with someone and then suddenly they get a job in Antarctica, they need to leave, that's a surprising turn. That wasn't what you were planning whatsoever. So I think it's fated, whatever happens this week, in the sense that if that person goes to Antarctica, they were fated to be an Antarctic researcher, okay? That was part of their destiny and legacy. So we can't take any of the surprise changes too personally this week. Now, looking at the week ahead, Monday, as I mentioned, is going to be cloudy and super pensive. If you have a lot of business to get it done Monday, okay? Because I think the universe is going to interfere and interject the entire week, and you really won't have much time to get things done. So pick off the low-hanging fruit on Monday. You're going to be very career-oriented, very focused. You're going to be moving forward, and you're going to be very sensitive. Be very careful not to judge yourself, because Venus moving into Pisces does have us open up to old spiritual energies such as guilt, regret, shame, these kind of negative vibrations. And those could be harboring, and that's part of what you are turning away from. So be conscientious of that. Tuesday, it's sunny and super peaceful. Tuesday, basically, you have to rise to the occasion. So Tuesday is probably the day where you have to do some adjusting and get comfortable with change. So you're probably going to start to law of attract in whatever synergy situation you want. And that might be, let's say, the perfect dance partner. But on Tuesday, you're going to find you're stumbling a lot. You're stepping on her feet. You know what I mean? Like you're making the right turn when you're supposed to turn left. So Tuesday is really kind of about just getting things fluid. Saturn moves to step 6 on Tuesday, which means we control through surrender. So this is going to be the step number that Saturn is in for the entire week. In other words, the control has already happened. Your job is to show up and just be yourself. So I think that's also going to create some awkwardness. On Wednesday, it's cloudy, overcast, and healing. Step 25 rules the day. This is the highest spiritual degree in a transit, step 25. And Aquarius is also very high consciousness. In fact, as far as human consciousness is concerned, it goes from heaven to Pisces and then from Pisces to Aquarius. So Aquarius is like the top of the ceiling. Wednesday, it'll be like your ear is to the top of the ceiling, and you may have surprise intuition come through on Wednesday. You may be all ready to launch the solar eclipse and then suddenly realize you can't do this launch. It's not going to work for you. Or this might be the time when your business partner says, you know what, I belong in Antarctica. I don't belong working with you. So Wednesday may be some surprises in order. Mars will be at step 11, and what it's really pushing for underneath the scenes on Wednesday is to get your story in order, for your story to be in integrity. So if you have any loose ends, so to speak, Wednesday is the day to take care of them. On Thursday, this is the solar eclipse day. And actually, in the United States and North America, we wake up to step 26. So we're having two-step days right now in North America. In Europe, it works out to where they wake up, they have a full step. So we take turns with that on each side of the earth. But here in North America, you wake up to step 26, so you feel very solid, you feel very certain. The moon and Mercury conjoin on this in the early part of the morning, so your feelings and your thoughts get really aligned. And I think Thursday will probably feel the most solid out of the entire week. You're going to feel like $1,000,000, but it's very important to be on Thursday what you seek to come, because Thursday afternoon is the Grand Slam solar eclipse. It actually occurs at step 27, which means we're taking action. And ideally, on Thursday afternoon, you want to be in action with your plans. So if your plan is to be on a dance show, okay, and be this professional dancer on a dance show, you best be rehearsing your performance that afternoon. You want to be what you seek to come Thursday afternoon. And then on Friday, the day after the eclipse, it's Love Fest Day. The moon crosses Venus in Pisces, and so I'm expecting us to feel a real spiritual wash on Friday, almost like we've just had a baby, because in ways we have. And I have to point out that some people won't actually experience the effect of the eclipse until up to 2 or 3 days after the eclipse. In other words, you may not realize that your business partner is moving to Antarctica until Sunday, because it takes her or him that long to kind of come to terms with it. But on Friday, it's going to be a peaceful day. It's going to be a loving day. The moon is in Pisces, and so we're very compassionate. And at the same time, Black Lilith moves to step 11. And whenever Black Lilith moves a step, and the fear changes a step, you know life has changed. That's one of my little secrets to astrology, is watching Black Lilith. So I think we wake up Friday with life feeling like it has changed. But I think we need to dive deeper into this eclipse. So go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is the Super Stellium solar eclipse. This is the first of 3 solar eclipses we have this year. And as I mentioned earlier, lunar eclipses tend to be somewhat destructive. They tear parts of things in our life apart. The last eclipse we had was January 31st. It was in Leo. It was all around integrity. And if you remember, at least here in the United States, our Congress was fighting over integrity the whole week. The integrity of a memo, the integrity of the FBI, the integrity of President Trump. So you could see in the big picture of the world how things are being affected. You yourself might have felt a strong call to get your shift together and come into your total integrity. So I think personally, it all meant that we had to focus on what's important and let go of what isn't important. This solar eclipse is a little different. It's a power punch. It's a constructive force of energy. And I kind of look at this almost like the game of Pac-Man. You know, when Pac-Man would eat a power pellet and all the ghosts would turn blue, and suddenly you can run around the maze faster and not get killed. That's kind of what a solar eclipse is. You suddenly get this power pellet, and you feel all this energy and support inside your soul for whatever the step number mission is. Now, this solar eclipse step number mission is step 27 Aquarius. That translates to, I act on my synergy. So what I believe is that from this point forward, you're going to feel this incredible force behind you, like wind in your sails, to take action when it comes to finding your synergy in life. Finding that place where you are just in total symbiotic, total awesome dance, move, and groove with the universe. And you're going to feel this energy all the way through July when we have our second solar eclipse, which will occur in Cancer. We'll talk more about that later. Let's focus on this one. So this solar eclipse really kind of blasts your spiritual mission into the stratosphere. This solar eclipse is what puts all of your goals for the entire first 6 months into action. And because it's at the master degree of 27 Aquarius, it kind of guarantees that it's for the best and good of all. That's what Aquarius has to do with where everything belongs. So basically the universe is saying it's time to get into our synergy with the universe. Now, there will be some destructive forces to it as well. Sometimes when the universe gives us a power pellet, ghosts get killed. Okay, so there may be ghosts that end up dying. Why do they die? Because they were haunting our life and they are working against our synergy. They're working against our potential, and so they must be gobbled up and turned into just floating eyeballs. All right? So there will be collateral damage, so to speak, from the solar eclipse, but it will be something that in the end you regard as a blessing. All right? So they will be blessings in disguise. Now, as I mentioned, solar eclipse energy is really interesting. For people who are aware and awake, sometimes they have their solar eclipse epiphany like 2 or 3 days before the event. I myself have experienced, particularly with the lunar eclipse, I had breakdown before January 31st, like 3 days I was having breakdown because I was ready. I was ready to take it on. I was ready to get that out of the way. And you may experience that too, the realization. Now, of course, even though you realize days ahead, you're still part of the human collective. So even if you realize it days ahead, you're still going to get pulled into that energy again on the day of the eclipse. It'll be highlighted, it'll be more powerful, etc. Now, this is a super stellium solar eclipse because it actually includes more than 2 heavenly bodies. First of all, you probably know a solar eclipse is when the sun and moon come together. That means our heart and our feelings come together. And the moon actually comes before the sun, so the moon darkens the sun. What this means is our emotions, everything we're feeling, gets amplified by the sun, okay? So if you're feeling negative on that day, it's going to get amplified. That's why it's very important to be and feel what you seek to come. But on top of this, we have 2 other planets that are involved. One is Mercury. So it won't just be all of our heart and all of our feelings, but all of our thoughts. Mercury's at step 25, Aquarius. Step 25, by the way, is the highest spiritual step, and so our mind will be highly spiritually minded at the time of the eclipse, which is a blessing. And then the asteroid Juno will be involved in this as well. Now, Juno actually literally is synergy energy. The asteroid Juno reveals in a person's natal chart where they have amazing synergy in life and the type of person they have amazing synergy with. So this is, to me, a huge blessing that God Universe brings in the king of synergy, Juno, to the stellium and the eclipse. This is where I see God interfering with free will here. Now, one of the interesting aspects of this that many astrologers don't talk about, but I do, is the Earth. Okay, on the opposite side of the sun is the Earth. The Earth is in Leo. And the Earth is not only in Leo, but it's conjuncting where the last solar eclipse was in Leo, at step 28 Leo, way back in August. So this particular eclipse is not only blasting your synergy intentions into the stratosphere of manifestation, but Earth, which is the planet of manifestation, is in Leo, which means as of this eclipse, you are technically manifesting whatever it is you were seeking to manifest in August. So this is 6 months after the last eclipse, basically, and so you're going to see whatever you set into motion likely begins to come fluid and real after this eclipse. And the North Node on this day is at step 15, which is weird because it was at step 14 before the eclipse, it goes to step 15, and then it goes back to step 14. So this eclipse demonstrates to me that our heart's intentions will change after the eclipse. It was one thing before the eclipse, and then it's something after the eclipse. What's the difference? Step 15 is when we're able to accept and receive love from the world. So the eclipse is saying you must kickstart your energy into synergy, and where you have a synergistic relationship in the world, and at the same time, you're going to manifest something your heart seeks to receive. And that manifestation from the heart also goes into motion. So with that said, I want to walk you through, for all 12 signs, what this solar eclipse means, what you are upgrading basically with the super stellium, and on the other side, what you are manifesting represented by Earth and the North Node in Leo. And because this is an eclipse event, you probably want to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign, or for my subscribers, your A story and your B story. And as always, I'll put a graphic right here on the side of the screen in case you want to fast forward to what's important to you or your loved ones. Okay, starting with Aries. Aries is doing a huge upgrade to their social status and where they belong in the world. So it's time for Aries to take their place in line. Usually it's the front of the line, okay, because they demand it and they want to be there first. But it's time for you to take your place in the world. This is social status. This is a promotion, perhaps. You might get a promotion at work. You might find yourself in a new neighborhood, in a new subdivision, in a new class. Some people I know at minimum go out and get a new car. They end up getting a new car that's a bit of a social status for them. And whatever this upgrade is in the world, you're going to be in the background manifesting something your heart has wanted. And I would say something your heart has wanted going back at least to August 2017. Taurus. Taurus are doing a major career legacy upgrade. So Tauruses are literally getting promoted. Their productions are being promoted. They are moving to the next level now in their career and what they leave behind on the planet. And if you are a retired Taurus, this might be something with your children, your stamp book collection, anything that you regard as your legacy that you seek to leave behind. What this does for Taurus is manifest a new solid emotional security. And that's what Tauruses were aiming to do, is feel more secure last August. Boy, I can attest to that too, by the way. Geminis. Geminis are upgrading their life purpose. So Geminis have settled for a certain level of life. They thought life was about this and life was about that. And now Geminis are going, oh no, life is about this new higher desire, basically. And this is in alignment most likely with the story you were born to live, Gemini. Now this higher enlightenment of your life purpose, what this does is manifest a whole new way of thinking. So because you have this new purpose, Gemini, you're going to have to think through your plans, take a different approach, adopt a different attitude. Cancers. Cancers are going to actually go through a life transformation. So we're going to see Cancers make some really powerful changes. Many Cancers are going to be making changes in relationships. I know a lot of Cancers who are super lonely hearts and want to find the one. I know a lot of Cancers who are in miserable relationships but have been afraid to let go. So I think this is going to be a huge push for Cancers and Cancer risings to get on down the right relationship path. But also that means making the personal boundary changes inside themselves that give you the power to make that change. By doing that life transformation, Cancers are going to actually upgrade and manifest self-esteem and money. So this could also be a career change or a location change that somehow brings you more fortune, literal material fortune in life. So Cancers are about to get paid. Leos. Leos are making an upgrade to their relationships and the type of relationships they seek to be involved in. So Leos have tolerated relationships so far based on a level of self-love they've had for themselves. What's been happening with the North Node in Leo is that Leos have been beginning to love themselves on a higher and higher level. As a result, the quality of their relationships is now changing. They're taking it to a higher relationship level. And what they will end up manifesting as a result is a new character. So they're going to have new behavior and new character because they're hanging around with new types of people. By the way, Leo, this could be romantic, business partnership, friendship, all of the above. Teammates, everything. Virgo. Virgo are making a major quality of life upgrade. So this could come in a lot of facets. They could start a new diet regimen. They could change where they live. They could change where they work. They could change how many hours a day they work. It's the quality of your lifestyle, Virgo, that you're taking to the next level. What this is going to manifest for you is solid faith in yourself. And that was the big thing you were wishing upon a star for last August during the last solar eclipse in Leo. You were wanting greater faith. You were wanting less worry and less fear. Well, this lifestyle upgrade is what will bring you that. Libras. Libras are upgrading their definition of love. So Libras have quite often settled a lot too. That's because they're the relationship sign. They always kind of like just take what they get and make the best of it. But the universe is saying, oh no, go for what your heart truly wants, almost on a selfish level, which is beyond Libra's definition usually. So Libras are now upgrading their personal dreams to a higher dimension than it was before. What's going to end up happening is they're going to manifest a new role in society and a new place in society as a result of upgrading the self-love to this higher level. Scorpios. Scorpios are going to upgrade their emotional security. Scorpios want to feel better. So this solar eclipse might bring a new family member, a change of the home, a change literally of the location of your residence. Your quality of emotional life has to go up, okay? And what's going to end up happening is you're simultaneously going to manifest some sort of career change or opportunity that plays into it. So it could very well be that Scorpios get a promotion job offer, and this job offer means they're moving into a new house, or like the Jeffersons, they're moving on up. All right. Sagittariuses. Sagittariuses are going to get an upgrade in their thinking. So the way they have been thinking has not been leading them to happiness. So they're going to have an upgrade in the way they think, their logical process, the elements they consider, and you could say that they're going to have an upgrade in their attitude. They're going to get a new attitude on life. What this is going to do is manifest new purpose for the Sagittariuses. It may also manifest new travel plans, which they love to hear, or new educational plans, which they also love to hear, all from an upgrade in your attitude. Capricorns. Capricorns are going to be very happy. Capricorns get a raise. They're getting the solar eclipse is a power pellet for you to manifest more. So this is an upgrade in your potential for abundance, an upgrade for your self-esteem, an upgrade for your self-confidence as well, which is going to draw in more. What this manifests on the back end with the earth is it manifests trust in yourself. It also manifests a positive change in your life. So you can expect positive change in your bank account and positive change in your overall quality of life. Aquariuses. Aquariuses, because it's in their sign, will be almost the most affected. The second most affected are Leos, by the way, because they're the opposite sign of Aquarius. So Aquariuses, we're going to see some of the biggest changes in amongst our friends. Aquariuses are making an entire character upgrade. A character upgrade is your behavior, your defenses, your ego, your action plan, the way you respond to yourself, the way you respond to others. So Aquariuses are going to go through one of those chameleon moments that, for those of us who know Aquariuses, we've seen Aquariuses completely change in their life. This is one of their chameleon change moments. And what they're going to end up manifesting as a result of this character change are new partnerships. This could be romantic partnerships, business partnerships, best friends forever, work alliances, okay? So by changing their behavior and coming into the best and brightest they've ever been, they draw on a whole new schema of people and relationships. And then finally, the Pisces. Pisces have been having it difficult, by the way. I've been talking to Pisces offline. This has been one of the hardest karmic seasons for them of the entire history of Pisces. That's because they are going through some profound change and shedding off an old karmic story. What you're actually building in this particular solar eclipse, Pisces, is a new spiritual faith. A faith in yourself, and this is going to put you on a new spiritual mission. So Pisces are going to see all this change on the inside. They're going to wake up feeling so solid and positive. And the back end of this means that you are going to manifest a new lifestyle. So Pisces might relocate, they might change jobs, they might go through a health regimen that brings them to a higher state of feeling good. So Pisces are going to have a change of faith that results in a different change of lifestyle, an upgrade. And it's the lifestyle you were seeking to have way back in August during the last solar eclipse. So as you can hear, this super stellium solar eclipse is probably the real first positive action from the universe of 2018. I think it's going to set the tone for where your heart is moving and shaking between now and July when we have our next solar eclipse. So I think it's very important. Be sure to give yourself space and time before and after the eclipse. Wait for all the fallout. And remember to be in action on Thursday afternoon, moving forward with whatever it is you intend to do in life, because what you're doing is demonstrating to the universe what your heart desires. All right, a couple of little announcements. First of all, I did a fantastic 3-hour presentation called The Countdown to 2018. I did it on January, actually it was December 30th, actually. I did it live for people, and I've been selling tickets to it ever since. Many people have told me they can't afford it, although I think it's well-deserved. So I am putting it on sale. I am marking $15 off of my countdown to 2018. I'm only going to do this for a couple of weeks. If you visit soulmart.me, you will see that you can purchase a ticket. Now, just so you know, when you purchase a ticket, you go to this calendar and you have to select at the end of the month as if you were going to attend a class. You're not really going to attend a class. That's just the way the system is. So say you're going to attend the class at the end of the month, and we will in 24 hours send you a link to the video, the password, and a full spreadsheet for all 12 signs that kind of details the entire year. This eclipse, the one in July, etc. So for more information on Countdown to 2018, it is on sale now, $15 off at soulmart.me. And then secondly, I want to announce that I'm very happy to announce here for our Denver locals, I am co-sponsoring a Oneness Festival. This is kind of like a Love Fest Day, but it has a different intention. What we're trying to do is bring local people together to help people feel more whole on the inside. And it's our theory that if we can help people feel more whole on the inside, they will naturally begin to adopt a oneness philosophy with people in the outer world. So we're trying to help combat the stress and dis-ease that we see our fellow citizens going through. If anyone is in the Denver area or enough to drive, this will be on Sunday, March 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day. We're going to have it at the Glorious Mercury Cafe, which I love, by the way. If you don't know, this is a cool cafe, totally hipster, totally Christmas lights everywhere, all astrological based. There's like paintings of Tauruses and paintings of all sorts of cool stuff. So we are very grateful to Mercury Cafe for lending us the space. God bless her, and go have brunch there. It's all holistic food, by the way, all organic food. But we're having it at the Mercury Cafe. It will be the Oneness Festival at 1 p.m. So it's at 1 p.m. We do ask for a donation if you come, because there are costs involved with doing this. And yes, we will be telestreaming this live over the internet. In fact, that leads me to the next place. We will be telestreaming it to the Namaste Today Club. So if you're not a member of Namaste Today yet, you should come on down. This is a Facebook club where we allow all of our light workers to kind of rub elbows. It's where all my important announcements come out. And of course, I'll be live streaming the Oneness Festival on that day to my Facebook club. If you'd like to be a part of the Facebook club, it's namastetoday.club. As for the deep details of the Oneness Festival, stay tuned. I'll be posting it in the club. All right, friends, that's all I have for this fantastic February week. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day to people out there. Valentine's Day is going to be a Step 25 day, so I have a feeling that this might be a Valentine's Day where a lot of people break up, unfortunately. That's just because of the solar eclipse. So God bless you, but don't worry. If you do find yourself in relationship limbo, Sensei says the solar eclipse the next day is going to get you on the right track. God is blessed. Thank you so much. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
Serious joy, joy, joy.